This is News 25 with Deanna O'Donnell. News 25, local news you can count on. News is brought to you by J.K. Nelson Law. Give them a call, 727-9900. Today's news is also brought to you by Gunny's Air Conditioning and Heating. New service and repair. Call Gunny's, 775-727-6800.
Welcome to News 25. It's Tuesday, April 26th. I'm Deanna O'Donnell. Well, the Clark County Fire Department is investigating a fatal fire inside an underground flood channel near the I-15 Freeway and Blue Diamond Road.
Just before 3:30 Monday afternoon, fire crews were dispatched to an area off Dean Martin Drive south of Blue Diamond Road after receiving multiple calls of smoke coming from under the roadway. Firefighters discovered a fire inside a flood channel tunnel which ran under the road. A person who escaped the flames said additional victims could still be inside. Crews located and extinguished the fire, but the narrow tunnel made it difficult to search for victims. Firefighters made several sweeps through the tunnel during the next few hours. During those searches, they discovered one man and one woman deceased inside the tunnel, along with several cats. Authorities say the cause of the fire is undetermined at this time, though the investigation continues. The Clark County Coroner's Office will determine the cause of death for both victims.
And the Clark County Coroner's Office is trying to identify the body of a person found inside a burned-out home in Moapa Valley.
Moapa Valley Fire District investigators are looking for the cause of a deadly weekend fire in Logandale. Firefighters were dispatched to a mobile home on Ash Street just before 8 p.m. Saturday. The mobile home, which had a basement, was fully engulfed in flames when fire crews arrived on scene. Fire Chief Stephen Niels says due to the intensity of the fire, access to the structure, large amount of ammunition actively discharging, and the large amount of personal belongings in and around the structure, crews were forced to fight the fire from the outside. Firefighters learned the homeowner may be inside the home, but were unable to get inside to conduct a search. Sunday, fire crews conducted a search for the homeowner from the exterior of the structure, but didn't see anything. Police and firefighters took another look Monday when they discovered a body. It's still unknown what sparked that fire. The coroner's office will identify the victim and determine the cause and manner of death.
And the Southern Nevada Water Authority says it's official. The top of the intake, number 1, is now visible at the low lake level pumping station and now operational at Lake Mead. The new low lake pumping station was completed in 2020 to ensure the delivery of high-quality water in Southern Nevada. As Lake Mead water levels continue to fall during the worst drought in history of the Colorado River Basin, the Southern Nevada Water Authority's low-level pumping station will ensure Southern Nevada maintains access to its primary water supplies in Lake Mead. Water levels at Lake Mead have dropped about 150 feet since 2000. The $650 million pumping station has its capacity to deliver up to 900 million gallons a day to our treatment facilities. Well, employment rose 12.5% in Nevada's largest county, Clark, from September 2020 to September of 2021, compared to the nationwide increase of 4.4%. Clark County's average weekly wage in the third quarter of 2021 was $1,096, compared to the national average of $1,251. Eureka County was at $1,766, reported the highest average weekly wage in the state, while Lincoln County, $822, reported the lowest. Nationally, employment increased 332 of 343 largest U.S. counties. Honolulu, Hawaii had the largest over-the-year increase in employment with a gain of 13.3%. Jefferson, Louisiana had the largest over-the-year percentage decrease in employment with a loss of 3.2%. In Nye County, the average weekly wage was $1,000 to $1,099, up from $868 a week in September of 2021. Stay tuned. News 25 will return on the other side of this break.
You're watching News 25, the most recognized and farthest reaching local news in Nye County. News 25, local news you can count on. This segment of News 25 is brought to you by Dr. George Leaks, Pahrumps optometrist since 1990, offering full spectrum eye care for children and adults. Call today, 727-8300. News is also brought to you by Lisa Spahitz and Mike Plasmeyer at Country Financial Insurance. Auto, home, life, and commercial. 775-727-8920.
Welcome back. Well, tonight we continue our story of Ronnie and Beverly Barker, who got lost in the Nevada desert last month. On Monday, part one of the three-part series left you with a very frustrated nephew who said he could not get help from law enforcement to find his disabled elderly aunt and uncle who had been missing for days on their vacation out west. The Indiana couple was en route from Oregon to Arizona and never made it to their destination. Their nephew, Travis Peters, who works for NBC, says he and his cousins were calling law enforcement to get help to locate the pair, whose last ping on their cell phone was in Silver Springs, Nevada.
And I said, "You've looked everywhere." "Yes, we've covered this county. There, I don't know where to put them." And I said, "Well, I know CAP, wants to fly." And he was like, he was just real. I think he's not used to people going around him. And it really upset him that we were willing to make calls. And I said, and Sheriff, I said, "Why hasn't a silver alert been issued for them?" And he's like, "Silver alert? Well, there's paperwork, and I'm going to have to make some calls." And he just acted like we just asked him to dig a ditch to California. We hung up, and about 3 hours later, I called back. I wanted to know what the hell is going on. And so the young lady told me that this is Monday around 2:30. And she said, "I'm sorry, the sheriff was already gone for the day." I said, "Well, that must be nice to be able to just take off at 2:30 in the afternoon when you have a large missing persons case on your hands." And I said, "Well, what's going on with the silver alert?" "Well, we submitted it, but it got rejected." And boy, you talk about your head turning around side, I was like, "It got rejected?" And she said, "Yeah, because they're not residents of Nevada."
Ronnie was a veteran who had part of his lung removed due to Agent Orange. He and Beverly were longtime members of the Civil Air Patrol. The couple both were disabled, and calls to their phones were unanswered. The last time they were seen was at a gas station in Stagecoach. In the meantime, the couple's GPS coordinates took them off the beaten path. They ended up a hill in Silver Peak, stuck in the mud. They spent the night in the RV, then detached their car that they were towing the next day to go down the hill to get help. They brought no supplies with them, thinking they would be right back. That's when their Kia got stuck 2 miles from the RV. Days turned into nights with no food or water. One night it snowed, and the couple was able to eat the snow to hydrate themselves.
Once everything melted, they knew that was the only place to get snow.
They were battling hunger, dehydration, and the cold, huddling in the back of their vehicle for warmth, looking up at the stars at night.
They would look up at the stars, and Bev just told us that, the sky was just so beautiful at night with all the stars. And then in the daytime, they would lay in the back of the car and look through the glass and just the blue sky. And it was just cool that, Ronnie, an Air Force guy, she said there was just so many planes, just crisscrossing. And that's basically how they passed the time through as the days got a little into further in the week, that he told her that he was dying. And she said that she knew that he was dying. And she said that he blamed himself. And, she was like, "No, don't blame yourself." It was just an unfortunate situation, that put him up there, and an unfortunate situation that rescuers weren't able to get to my uncle in time. So he took his last breath at 3:12 in the afternoon, on Monday afternoon. And she said she took a photograph of him, and she did that because she wasn't sure if she would remember when he passed away. If she made it out, she wanted to know when was death. So she took a photo of him. And she said she got in the front seat of the car. And I failed to mention this, but early on, and when they first got stuck in the car, Ron would tap on the horn, an SOS signal. And she was like, "What are you doing there?" And he was like, "Well, that's, that's SOS." And she's like, "Yeah, but No, nobody knows SOS. And he was like, well, sure they do. That's just the kind of guy he was. Everybody knows SOS. And in Ronnie's world, he taught her to do the SOS rhythm, dot, 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 dash, 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 dot, dot, dot. And so she did it through the week. So once Ronnie had passed away, she moved up to the front of the car and dot, 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 dash, dash, dash.
And we'll have our final part to that story on tomorrow night's broadcast. If you missed any of it, you can go to our Facebook or YouTube page. Well, if you are a Power Rangers fan, you may want to plan to visit Hypno Comics and Games here in Pahrump tomorrow afternoon. Actor Jason David Frank, who played the Green Power Ranger, will be there to meet fans, sign autographs, starting at 3 p.m.
It's going to be run just like a Comic-Con. People know, there's stuff at the table they can get. A lot of people bring their own merchandise. But I would say this, and all the fans have been great about it. Just go get something from the shop. I don't care what comic book. Don't have to be. It doesn't have to be Power Ranger related. Marvel, DC. Go support the shop. My table runs just like a convention, as it always does anyway. So people are familiar with that. They'll get something. A lot of people always say, "Hey, look, I supported the shop." I said, "Cool." Hook them up with some cool exclusive stickers or something like that. So. It's always a good thing where people come up to me and say, hey, look, I supported the shop versus me saying, do this and do this. So I know my fans will go out there and support shops. The last shop I went to, it was their worst week the previous week before. And I went there and he said, man, thank you for making my week better than last week. And that's what happens. And that's what's about, is sharing the love, with the comic shops or introducing you. Most people don't even know what it's all about. Bringing people from Vegas to Hypno. People travel just to go to different comic shops. So it's just one of those things. Go support the shop. I have cool exclusive posters. The fans already know 8x10s. They can bring in merchandise and all that stuff. And we're just gonna have a good time. So people are very familiar with how this works. Good thing is there's no cover charge for people. You can come here, come see me. You don't have to travel and pay for parking and come to the door. And Rob Liefeld, who created Deadpool, he just did a podcast and he did a big shout out to me and thanked me for that, which most people don't do, for paving the way of this new way of giving back and having a good, kind heart. And it does. Now you bring a family of six, you get 6 people. You know what I mean? So you don't have to worry about door prices, and that's like the biggest thing. And I think it's great. And I can't wait to meet George and everyone out there, because I'm here for a purpose. My Instagram is JDFFN, which stands for Jason David Frank, and my fight name, Fearless Frank. We're trying to build a nation of fans. I just never change it. JDFFN on all platforms. A lot of people are on Facebook. Jason David Frank official fan page. It's got about 1 million. That's me. TikTok, JDF TikTok, blue checks. And then with the movie Legend of the White Dragon on Instagram, LOT White Dragon. So it stands for Legend of the White Dragon. And my goal that I remember Saban told me is the MMPR before initials. My goal is to brand this where it says LOTWD. And someone can look and go, I know what that is. Maybe 2 people out of 10. What is it? Legend of the White Dragon.
And again, if you'd like to meet actor Jason David Frank, he'll be signing autographs at Hypno Comics and Games at 720 East Street here in Pahrump tomorrow, April 27th, starting at 3 p.m. We'll return in just a moment.
You're watching News 25, brought to you by Mountain West Lawyer, Injury Attorneys, 727-9500. News 25, local news you can count on.
Well, I like to nap, but napping too much may be a problem. A recent study has found that older adults who regularly nap for more than an hour a day had a 40% higher risk for developing Alzheimer's disease.
I've seen in many of my patients with Alzheimer's disease that they do start to sleep more, and they do tend to nap more during the day as their cognition declines. But I was surprised to see that napping actually perhaps promoted the appearance and the emergence of Alzheimer's disease.
Dr. Dylan Wendt, who is a neurologist for Cleveland Clinic, was not part of the actual study. He says it's important people not panic over the findings. What matters more is why an individual might be napping for longer periods of time during the day. It could simply be due to an undiagnosed sleeping disorder, or maybe it's even out of boredom. If that's the case, he recommends finding more activities in your day to stimulate you. However, if you do find the need to nap, he says make sure to keep it short, so 45 minutes or less.
It is really important to let your doctor know if something is not right about your sleep, because sleep is a key component of maintaining health of the brain and the body.
The study tracked data from more than 1,400 seniors over a 14-year span. Researchers say more work needs to be done to determine whether less napping could help slow down age-related cognitive decline.
Well, last-minute preparations are in full swing for the NFL Draft, which starts Thursday in Las Vegas. But there's plenty of other sporting news, too. With that, here's Doug Ferber.
Hello, sports fans! A shocking loss for the VGK last Sunday might spell the end of the season, and being the best isn't easy, or is it? I'm Doug Ferber. With a 4-2 lead and a little over 3 minutes to play in period 3 against San Jose, the Vegas Golden Knights seem to be on their way to controlling their own destiny for the last playoff spot in the Western Conference Sunday night. Fate stepped in and the Sharks pull out one for the ages, beating the Knights 5-4 in a shootout. Where does that leave the VGK in their quest for a 5th straight berth in the playoffs, you ask? First things first, the Knights are about to take to the ice against the team they are chasing, the Dallas Stars in Dallas. If the VGK can win in regulation tonight and beat the Blackhawks and the Blues later in the week, there is still a chance. If the Stars lose tonight and lose one more to either the Phoenix Coyotes or the Anaheim Ducks, and the Knights win all 3 this week, they are in. Tonight, however, could be the end for Vegas. A loss to the Stars ends any chance for a postseason berth. Stay tuned. We appreciate catching the action of our favorite sports teams on television, radio, and streaming on the web. But the voices behind the broadcast are sometimes overlooked. But not the voice of Las Vegas Aviator play-by-play man Russ Langer, who has been recognized by the National Sports Media Association as Nevada's best sportscaster 11 times in his 22 years broadcasting here in Vegas. Langer has been at the mic for the Vegas Stars, the 51s, and now the Aviators, and also took the honors broadcasting the Albuquerque Dukes in New Mexico in 1999. What does it take to get there? Langer explains in his own eloquent way.
As far as advice is concerned, I would say from a broadcasting standpoint, you need to be yourself, because there's one thing that you can bring to the microphone that no one else can bring, and that's you. So you really have to be yourself. And I think Arthur Godfrey, the tremendous radio personality from many years ago, once said that the difference between talent and mediocrity is the willingness to risk. So if you have an engaging personality, and if you've got a little bit of a character in you, and if you want to do this for a living, the chances are that some of that going on, you need to let that come out and let the audience know that you're there to entertain them and that you're having fun. Because the reason people are tuning in is to escape whatever maybe not so great things are happening in their lives. So we have a responsibility, each one of us as broadcasters, to, I think the cliche is to bring our A game, and which not only means to prepare well and do a good job of the nuts and bolts of the broadcast, but also bring a good level of energy and make folks understand that you really enjoy being there and you want to be there doing that game.
Watching Langer work, multitasking while calling a game on Thursday night against El Paso, it is clear to see why his career is going strong here in Las Vegas. The Aviators split their 6-game series here last week against El Paso, the AAA affiliate of the San Diego Padres. They host Tacoma for 6 beginning tonight. The first pitch at Las Vegas Ballpark is set for 7:05 p.m. And if you can't come out to the ballpark, Langer can be heard on radio station 920 AM and through other available streaming services. One final note, the NFL Draft gets underway here in Vegas Thursday. The Raiders will be on the hook for a 4th rounder, 2 5th rounders, and 1 7th round draft pick. For KPVM 25 TV Sports, I'm Doug Ferber.
News 25 WeatherCam is brought to you by Lerner and Rowe Injury Attorney's Office in Pahrump. In a wreck, need a check? Call 702-877-1500.
Taking a look outside at those clouds as we head into this break. We'll have your weather forecast with John on the other side.
News 25 weather is brought to you by Dairy Council of Nevada. The splash of cream in your coffee, the dollop of sour cream on your burrito, the melted toasty cheese on your pizza. Undeniably delicious, undeniably dairy. Enjoy what's real.
Hi, good evening, Nevada. It's John Kohler from the KPVM Channel 25 Weather Studios. Lovely to see you this evening, and lovely to present this lovely weather map. Look at the 72 degrees in Fernley and Fallon. They're tied. Carson City at 67, low spot in the state. Tonopah real close to their 69 degrees. In Amargosa, we see 75-degree highs today. In Beatty, it was 83. 86 out in Amargosa, getting better. Wow, here's the best. Ding, ding, ding. Las Vegas, you win the prize this evening with a 90-degree high. 99 out in Death Valley, California. But here in the paradise of Pahrump, we've got a very comfortable 71 degrees. Little clouds out there. Looking forward to that sunset in a little bit. High this today was 83 degrees. Winds out of the south to 15 miles per hour. Gave us a little bit of trouble. Stuff blowing across the yard was the sun rose this morning at 5:56. It'll set this evening. Look for it at 7:27. Going to be a great sunset. Beautiful colors in the skies tonight. Southeasterly winds to 10 miles per hour will carry us down to a low of just 59 degrees. But tomorrow, oh my, boom. Well, 85. Look at that. 85. Pretty good. 81, 82. We got a couple days of clouds and then a glorious sunshiny weekend. Those winds averaging throughout the week around 15 mile per hour. Some days high averages. Check out Thursday. Check out Monday. Some days low averages like Saturday, Sunday. So we're looking forward to the weekend. Temperatures into the mid 80s and comfortably ensconced there for as far as we can see. Just got to deal with a little bit of wind. And other than that, it is paradise. All right, back to the desk. Here's Deanna.
Thanks so much, John. Well, you know, there's a special event that's happening in Ash Meadows. They are having these events on Sundays, the very first Sunday of the month, where seniors can go down there. You get a little tour. They just had the one for birding, but they're coming up on May 1st, medicinal plants of the indigenous people. And you're going to meet at 10 a.m. at Roger Springs. And June 5th, there's going to be some wildlife observation, and you can meet at the Point of Rocks. For more information, you can go to Ash Meadows Facebook page to find out all about those. And that sounds like so much fun. I can't even tell you I love Ash Meadows. All right, well, that's going to wrap up this edition of News 25. We are remembering today the 12-year anniversary of the loss of our deputy Ian Deutsch in the line of duty. You can find out all about that on our KPVM Facebook page. We'll see you back here tomorrow night. I'm Deanna O'Donnell.